What is up, everybody, and welcome back to BM16 Vlogs. Been a while since we did some videos on here, so today I had to use this hamburger meat before it went bad, so I thought I would show you all how I make my hamburgers. But before we do this, there's a few things we have to do. A clean kitchen is a good kitchen, right? It's not exactly clean, so yeah, we're just gonna be right back with some clean dishes. And there we go, sink full of sink empty of dirty dishes. Clean dishes right here, put the ones up there that need to be put up. Leaving the hot water on just a little bit, not as much, because it is currently snowing and everything outside. Don't want the pipes to freeze up and bust. So, back to the hamburger meat now. Got a bowl here for the burger meat. Got a few things we need to get. Obviously, of course, we need the burger meat. We need some spices. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than the basics, in my opinion. So, I'm just grabbing what we need. Obviously, we're going to need some of this for the griddle. Got it. Is this open yet? I don't think it... Nope, it is. Okay. Grab the grinder. Pop the lid off. And all these will have their lids off currently due to me needing to have gloves on for this. You don't need to have gloves on, it's just something I do. Let's see, I think we're just missing 2 more ingredients. And I will show you guys the ingredients, don't worry. Alright, so, basic rundown of our ingredients. Obviously, you've got your pepper. Get a pepper grinder here. Green peppercorn. It's a little bit of a kick to my opinion. Some kosher salt. Some garlic salt for flavoring. Just a dash of A1. And inside the middle is going to be a little bit of a surprise. We're going to put in some Colby and Monterey Jack cheese. Now, I'm just going to get some gloves. We're going to need 2 sets of gloves for this. One to mix everything into it together, and then another set to put in the cheese. I'm going to leave the box right over there. And just making sure the spatula is clean. Good. Because we're going to need that to flip the burgers and everything. Now, sadly, I do not have any burger buns, but I do have a substitution, and that will be some Linden Lakes butter infused bread. Alright, now, obviously you're going to want to empty out your burger content, and by burger content I mean the meat, the ground beef. Yep. We got a pound of it right here. Obviously, I can make 1 giant burger, but that would take too long to eat. So, we're just going to go for, I think, depending on how much meat we have here, once I'm done mixing it all up. Make sure everything is inside of your bowl. And while my gloves are not yet dirty, I'm just going to open up the A1. I'm going to position this a little bit better. Okay. Now, I'm going to mix up the meat a little bit after I pour in a little bit of stuff. Then I'm going to mix it up again, and then I'm going to pour in some more stuff. So we're going to start off with our pepper. Do a couple grinds of that in there. Take your kosher salt. Be careful with this. Don't want to get too salty. Sprinkle a little bit or grind a little bit in there. And then your garlic salt. Pour a little bit in that there as well. Now I'm going to wait and pour the A1 in for the next one. So what you want to do, get your hands in there. Start mixing everything up. Make sure everything is mixed up. Also, this is episode 3. I had not known when I did the ramen and grilled cheese episode that was actually episode 2. I thought it was, but it was, I thought it was episode 1, but it was actually episode 2. Now, you guys don't have to do this, but this is something I do a little bit. Make it a little bit of a ball, toss it around a bit, squish it. See, that's what one of these patties would look like. I'm pretty sure this would kill someone. We're going to put that back in there, squish it all the way out. And now this time, you want to be a little bit more leisurely with your seasonings. Make sure you get a little bit more in here. And you don't have to do these seasonings exactly. This is just what I like in my burger. Pour a little bit more garlic salt. Now this one, we're going to wait and pour this in after we mix it up. Because it's going to mix in and it's going to evaporate the salt. So what you're going to want to do is make sure all of this seasoning is mixed in. Because you don't want it too seasoned on one side. Now, you don't have to do this as well if you don't want to do this, but take your A1, pour a good amount of it on here. Not too much because you're going to get your hand or gloves dirty from this. So I suggest having a trash bag nearby handy. And you're going to want to mix up this a lot. You want to make sure this sauce gets in to everything. The one I use is the original big one. You could use the thick one, which is what Burger King used to use, to put on one of their burgers. I forgot which one it was, but that's what they used to use. They don't use that anymore. And what you should come out with after mixing it up a lot, there's going to be obviously some leftover sauce, but what you end up with is a slightly toned, darker meat. Now, here's when you're going to want to switch out your gloves. Carefully take off one glove, ball it up in your hand, pull off the other, and then just toss it away. And if you did get any sauce on you, which I was lucky enough to not have done, wash your hands, and then now what you're going to want to do is wipe off your seasonings, because you might get a little bit of burger juice on it and you don't want that to contaminate them. Just wipe them off nicely and close them up and put them back, because this is all you're going to need them for. you're more than welcome to season them more if you want. I personally would not. That's why I would put enough seasoning in there to go now. Now, this is also something that I do, but I feel like some places and some brands make a gourmet burger seasoning. I don't like it. It tastes too... It's like they're trying too hard, in my opinion. Now, we have to move this over here along with the cheese, which we're going to now open up because we're going to need that. But you're going to need to take the lid off of this, shake it up a bit, because now we're getting to the griddle. Now, personally, the griddle I use is this one right here. It is a Faberware. Just get the cord out so I can get this going. Got a little bit of sauce on me. It's all good. Got it plugged up. Now, you're not going to want to start automatically, because we're going to need a plate to put all the burgers on. We have our plate. Big enough for... I think this should make 4 burgers. So we're going to put, not the burger balls on it. We're going to leave the burger balls in there. But we're going to put the finished burgers on here with their bread. You are actually now done with the trash bag. Well, almost. We do need it for our other set of gloves, so don't toss it away. Just move it out of the way if you need space. Actually, I'm going to switch it up because, the bread that is, because I did not know I had this, but if you guys have this, this makes some good bread, like it makes some good sandwiches. This is Nature's Own perfectly crafted thick sliced brioche style bread. Now, to me, it tastes like it's got a little bit of sweet Hawaiian to it. We're only going to do 2 slices of this because we're only going to make 1 burger for us to eat. The other 4 will be going in the fridge for another night. Or other 3, my bad. Now, what you also need is some sliced cheese. Grab your cheese. I'll be using Lynn Lake's white American cheese, like I did with the grilled cheese. So you all know I like this cheese. I'm running a little bit out of space here, so I'm going to put the cheese up here. Hopefully that doesn't fall. Grab your second set of gloves out, put your box away, and grab your spatula, because we're going to need this. Now, spray down your work area. Put on your gloves. Now this is going to be a bit difficult because you're going to have to do this one-handed. And I do suggest getting help if you have nearby help. I do not. But what you want to do is grab enough meat for 1 patty. Hold it in your hand, make a little bit of a ball in one hand. Now you're going to want to smush it in the middle a little bit. grab your other hand, which is free, and sprinkle in some shredded cheese. You want to avoid touching the meat with this hand, and you're going to want to fold in this one. If you can, if you do want to, you can use your other hand, which I may actually have to do, so make sure all the cheese is completely inside the meat. Like so. Ball it up. And as you can see, there is no cheese to be shown on the meat. Put it on your griddle, or your stove, or your grill. Grab another meat ball. And you're probably wondering, how am I going to get the cheese out? Well, it's quite simple. You do the same process. Smush the middle. Make sure it doesn't fall apart. And since I can't reach into the bag, I'm just going to pick up the bag and dump the cheese on. I don't want to cross-contaminate. This is going to be a little bit difficult here. Okay. Alright, set your meatball down. Take off your glove. And throw away your glove. Pick your meatball back up. Grab your cheese. Sprinkle it in. And very carefully, try to squeeze the meatball. Now this doesn't have to be necessarily just for hamburgers. You could do this with your meatballs and do, instead of the cheese mixture I have, you can do Parmesan and, I would suggest provolone and Parmesan. Shred it, if you shred it yourself, that's perfectly fine. If not, you know. Now, for these two, which I'm just making the balls right now, make sure they're all even, by the way. You don't want somebody to get too much of a burger and too little of a burger, you know? Now these, we are going to do the pushing of the hole in the middle right now. Gonna grab our cheese, sprinkle it in. Take the other glove off. And hopefully you guys didn't put away your gloves too far away, because, you know, you're gonna need them again. Ooh, that would have been bad if I dropped my iPad. Slide your gloves back on. Grab whichever one of your meat. Excuse me. Grab whichever one of the balls of meat you want. Ball it up. Check to make sure there's no cheese leaking out of the meat. Put it on your iron, or griddle, or wherever you're cooking it. Do the same with the other one. and boom. Now, what you're going to do now is take your bowl to your sink. Take your gloves off. And now you do not need your gloves. Put the gloves away. Get your bread and place it on the griddle as well. Now, what I'm going to do now is move you guys here so you guys can see this. You're also going to want to put away your cheese, your shredded cheese, so you don't let it, go bad. And now, take your spatula, move your griddle up, and turn it on. I'm going to go 270 for starting out. Flatten your meat. Not all the way, just flatten it a decent amount. You will see that some of them open up. That's perfectly fine. Now, personally, I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit more just to get it going. I'm going to go 370. Now, you don't want to burn the bread. If you're afraid of burning the bread, that's perfectly fine. You can move it off. But what you're going to want to do now is wait for it to cook. And that's pretty much it. Just wait for it to cook. I do suggest getting a drink while this heats up. And just as I come back, it starts heating up. Got a Coca-Cola here, not sponsored. And now you're going to want to turn your heat all the way back down. Let's go to 220. Turn it down, because this is going to get very loud and very messy. I'm also going to get a plate for this burger, where it's on itself. Now, just keep pressing down gently on the birds. Just make sure you get all the blood out. Now, like I said, some of them may come apart. That's perfectly fine if they do. And just sit here and let them cook. Occasionally check your bread to make sure it's toasting just right, however you want it. Normally I wouldn't start off with the bread like this, but since it's on a griddle, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Anybody thinking toasted buns and bread on meat? Yes, it does work. And it's actually preferred. You don't want a cold piece of bread and a hot piece of meat. As you can hear, it's slowly dying down. Checking my bread real quick. Still good, still good. Ooh, that one's getting a really nice toast. I think the one burger we're going to go for is the back left here, the first one I made. And you will be able to smell the A1. Doesn't look like it's on, so I'm going to try it up to 270. Yes, you will be able to smell the A1, don't worry. There is still pepper, salt, and garlic salt in here. I'm gonna go ahead and flip my bread over. You do want to be careful of this because the grease does like to jump. And just let it all cook. For some people, like, there's medium rare or rare, or I don't know what the others are right now off the top of my head. But me, personally, I like it all the way cooked through. So, no red. And some people actually like theirs burnt. So keep in mind people's preparations on their burgers. I'm going to go ahead and flip this one right here just to check and see. Alright, looking nice, looking nice. I do believe I am going to have to turn up the heat again. And our bread is done. That's why I said I wouldn't normally do that, but for this situation I did. I'm going to move our meat around, because now we have some more room to work with. And I'm going to flip the others now. Ooh, that one fell apart. Scared to flip this one, but you're going to have to. And of course, our first one in the back. And flip. Now you just let them all cook. Now, like I said, it does get greasy pretty fast, and I'm actually going to move, because the grease is starting to splatter onto my iPad. That means I should move the cheese. You don't want this melting. Or getting greasy, that is. We're going to put the cheese, put the cheese over here. No, that isn't a good idea. Not really a good place to put the cheese. So, final place to put your cheese. I'm going to move you guys all the way back here. I'm so sorry. Should be fine right here. Just gonna leave y'all there. I'm going to turn this back down. The grease is starting to jump a lot more now. Alright. I'm going to flip it back over so the one side does not burn. A lot of grease. As you all can see, the grease is dripping. That's how much there is of it. It turn it down too much, it doesn't seem to be cooking. It's not going to be good because we want meat to cook. The meat, if you would kindly please cook. And we're actually going to switch the plate out for a container real quick. The plate did get dirty, sadly, so that's what we're going to go back and do these. And this is a little container for the patties whenever they're done. Actually, I should probably put that over here, because they are getting close to being done. Alright, now what you're going to want to do, take your cheese, put it on top of the burger, there we go. And grab your lid for the cheese. And put your cheese away. Alright, looks like the meat and the cheese is finally almost getting done. So you take your container and you very carefully scoop up. That one's falling apart. Very carefully scoop up the patty. Place it in the container. And wait for that one just a little bit more. That one as well. Alright, this one's now good. Just put in your container as well as this. Now you're going to want to kill the heat and container lid, and you're going to want to let these cool down. You don't want to get out of the cool. Take your bun, take your other patty, the one you're going to eat. I have no idea what my dog's doing. You're going to platter up. Got a little bit of extra cheese right there, so that's good. Take a spatula and put it in the sink. Now, I waited to do this because this is the good part. I'm going to put the bread around. Let the cheese melt the bread together just a little bit. And unplug the little but you need to let this cool down before you clean it. Now if you will come with me, I will cut this open and show you all. Please do not mind the mess. Just pop my headphone off, my headset. No. You're gonna have to be quick about this because the juice, or not the juice, the grease and the cheese aren't really that. Good to see. We'll cut it open. And inside you have a cheesy burger. Ooh, almost dropped my knife. Well, thank you all so much for watching another episode of Cooking with Vlog. I hope you all enjoy. See you all in the next one. Peace out.